Welcome to another take. In this episode, we will be discussing character through the lens of Anton Chigurh, from No Country for Old Men, portrayed by Javier Bardem, and Nina Sayers, from Black Swan, portrayed by Natalie Portman. Part of the reason as to why we fall in love with movies is because of their characters. Good writing and strong acting are two of the most important components of achieving a strong character.
Just how dangerous is it?
Compared to what? The bubonic plague?
Most often, we are expected to root for the hero, but in No Country for Old Men, it's a different story. Anton Chigurh is introduced in the opening of the film as a man driven to accomplish his goal.
Yes, sir. I got it under control.
As the movie's antagonist, he is cold and callous, yet Chigurh captivates the audience through Javier Bardem's nuanced performance. He makes you fear Anton and root for him simultaneously. Javier Bardem paid close attention to his body language when playing the role. This, accompanied by his unnervingly calm demeanor, unsettles the viewer. The character himself has principles, albeit morally corrupt ones. For example, he sees his use of the coin toss as a chance to offer his victims mercy.
You don't have to do this.
People always say the same thing.
What did I say?
They say you don't have to do this.
You don't.
Okay. This is the best I can do.
In a sense, he is offering up their lives to fate.
In the psychological thriller Black Swan, Natalie Portman impersonates Nina Sayers, a ballerina driven to insanity after receiving a competitive lead role in a production of Swan Lake. The film follows Nina's gradual descent into derangement, bringing to life her horrifying hallucinations and exhibiting her struggle to preserve her sanity. As the film progresses, Nina is pressured by her mother and the director of the production to push herself to the breaking point in order to embody the Black Swan. The director continues to tell her that she is incapable of doing so, and this drives Nina to breaking down her own being in order to become this other character. Nina is extremely complex. She fears for her own mental state and her own life at times. Yet her other persona forces her to hurt herself and terrifies her with delusions. Natalie Portman herself had to spend a lot of time truly understanding the character, and many scenes that made it into the movie were a result of Natalie Portman's own interpretation of her. Nina reaches the point of confusing reality with delusions, and begins confronting people for events that never actually occurred. Convinced that other ballerinas are determined to steal her role, she grows increasingly paranoid. Towards the end of the film, she truly becomes the Black Swan, abandoning her old self and losing any grasp of her rationality. Her only joy comes from the absurdity that is finally reaching her idea of perfection, despite giving up her life in order to do so.
Character is the component of movies that gives them life and humanity. A well-written character is crucial for the successful telling of a story. A character with depth, flaws, and goals, that is the making of a strong character. I think it's time for us to
Call it.
Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for future content.